Good afternoon. My name is Apostle Richard Buafor, the General Overseer of the Lord's Pentecostal Church International.
I understand you celebrated your 22nd annual
General Conference.
general conference. And then at this conference, what are the issues that came up?
This is the conference of all the pastors, the fellowship leaders, and representatives of approved groups in the church, like the women's group, the men's group, the deacons and deaconesses, the students, the youth, and the children. And so we received reports from all the groups, and I gave the state of the church address. And so we discussed issues relating to our strategic plan for the next 5 years, and then we also used the opportunity to discuss matters of infrastructure, in the church, and we also looked at the children's department, developing a curriculum for the children, and we have made some transfers here and there. On the national front, we are looking at sanitation, how to engage our churches to help in cleanup in their various communities. We are looking at a program of once a month, asking that the congregants will do cleanup in their various communities once a month. And we are appealing or calling on government to institute this in the nation, because I have traveled to some African countries and I see that they do it there. Once a month, everybody comes out to clean their environment.
Sanitation is on your list.
Yeah.
How to get the country clean for all of us. In doing that, what are the measures you're going to put in place so that this thing can be achieved? Since other people talk about it, but then they don't see anything of yourself.
Yes, first of all, as we know, we are looking at it from the biblical angle, trying to teach our people that God is a holy God. And so if we are worshiping Him, our environment must be clean. In fact, when Israel left Egypt, God gave them rules and regulations as to how to maintain cleanliness in their communities. So we are first of all going to continue to teach these principles to the members of the church. In addition to that, we are asking from the congregations to make it a point, put it on their calendar, put it on their roster, that every month they will clean up their communities. And we are using this opportunity to also appeal to government, to legislate so that it becomes a law that in all the municipal areas throughout the country, this becomes law.
When you were mentioning, you said something concerning curriculum for children.
Yeah.
I want you to just the size of it. What curriculum are you putting in place for the children?
With the children's department, we are in partnership with an NGO called Compassion International, and they have developed a curriculum which we are going to use. It is about how to help the children to develop certain skills that would help them, as they grow up, inculcating into them the fear of God, and to help them grow mentally. That is the wisdom of God becoming part of their lives, to help them grow physically. That means that whatever we can do to give them the right nutrition and to provide medical care, for them, and also to help them socially, develop the social skills to live peacefully in their communities and grow up to become good citizens of our country. So the curriculum has already been developed by Compassion International, and we are in partnership with them to implement it for our children.
I understand as part of your annual congregation conference, general conference, you have a list of objectives that you want to embark on for this year or next year. Job creation and education. I think you talked about it. Just give me a little bit of it. Job creation for the members, which I believe is going to go a long way to help Ghanaians as well. So I just wanted to give you a little bit.
In the area of education, we have about 3 schools running, and we just had our first batch of BEC pupils passing out, and they came out with flying colors. They had 100%. All the pupils scored a grade 1 in science, which is a plus, for the school. We are still encouraging other branches to come on board by also starting churches. Talk about job creation. We, in our, call it our own small way. For example, the schools that we are building employs, teachers. We also have, individuals in the church, who have their own businesses. That one we encourage them to do. But as a church, we are into education. We are adding education to, what we are doing, and that is where we think that we can provide some job for, like teachers, and other staff in the kitchen staff and others. So the more schools we build, I believe that the more we can provide some jobs for teachers.
So I can say you are a particular kind of church with education.
Yes, education is very much on our hearts, yes, paramount on our hearts, yeah.
A little bit of maybe something I have not asked you, something I need to know.
Today, our theme is blessed to be a blessing. That's the theme for the conference. And all we are saying is that we as Ghanaians are truly blessed, and that it is time for us to be a blessing to others around us. We pray that we will be able to count our blessings, to see what God has done for us. We cannot be in this country and complain, because God has blessed us with all the natural resources we need. In fact, there are many countries in the world who are doing very well, then they don't have what we have. So what can we complain about? Nothing. Then it is time for us to look within and change our attitude, because it has to do with attitude. We need to change our attitude so that in doing the right thing, these resources God has blessed us, we will be beneficial to the people. So some of us just don't see how we can be in a country so rich and be struggling, financially. So I think our call is to all that let us look for what is wrong with our attitude, and let us correct that which is wrong, so that the resources can be a blessing to us. If everybody makes it a point to position himself or herself as an instrument of blessing to the person next to us, I believe will go a long way to having economic prosperity in this country.
Last one. Like I said, you are a church with education very paramount to your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you tell other churches who are just established and then they are not doing anything, they are not giving back to society? What would you tell them? Since you have education as on your heart, what would you tell them as well?
Well, I want to tell them that the Christian faith, when it came to Ghana, it came through the missionaries. And the missionaries came with education. That is why we have all these Christian schools which have been with us over the years. So to be a church, you have to make education a priority. Looking into history, that is what has been. And you see, illiteracy is one of the evil giants, we call them, in our society. And when you talk about Christianity, Christianity emphasizes discipleship. And to be able to make a disciple, it is easier for the person when he can read and write. So we think that Christianity and education go together. So if there's a church which calls itself a church, the next thing is to think of education, either at the kindergarten level, because right there you can inculcate the Christian way of life in the children, and they'll grow up with it. As the scriptures rightly say, that we should train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. So I would like to say to every church in this country to think and plan towards setting up schools so that we can help shape the moral fiber of our nation.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.